A quick discussion about staggers, particularly jacks. As you know, I've said before that I think jacks as staggers are pretty cheap because they're like pretty much unreactable. But the difference between just staggering this and then the completion is pretty much unreactable because of the pause here. There's a pause between the transition. There's another thing too that makes jacks staggers so good. I think it's because the follow-up is an overhead. You should almost always try to take back your turn with a poke because it's going to beat them trying to poke you, and it's faster usually than a standing one. And if, well, it depends on the character, but the problem is with jacks, he's like forcing you to stand up constantly because of the threat of the overhead, right? Same goes for this one here. That's why I think that the staggers that are overheads are really goddamn difficult to see coming. And even when you're trying to take your turn back after a stagger, you can't even take your turn back. So let's say I'm trying to take my turn back against jacks, right? Yeah, I realize he's staggering, I want to take my turn back, I get poked. Then I'm like, okay, that's what you have to do then, right? You have to poke him, but then he comes out with that, and then bam, he slaps you. And then when you want to be like, okay, I have to be a bit faster, I have to react, and then he continues with this. Just get the overhead, bang, he pokes you. And then when you're used to it, he's in range for a back throw. When he notices that you just keep blocking everything, including his staggers, including his follow-up down one, he does that. So it's pretty oppressive. It's oppressive because you're thinking about the overhead and trying to block the overhead. So let's say I'm playing against Cabal, he's doing back 1-2, right? So when I notice that he does back 1, I immediately have to stand up because the back 1-2 might come just like that. But then, how am I going to interrupt the back 1 stagger if I constantly have to stand up, right? So now I'm doing it, but let's say I do like... You have to be really quick. But this is -7, so let's try one that is a bit faster. Thinking of standing up, but then you notice that he staggers, and then he pokes you. Right? So you'd have to take your turn back, essentially, with a mid. Now Jax is going to be good at this, but the problem is if you don't have a fast mid, Jax has a 9-frame mid. If you don't have a fast mid and you have to take your turn back with a high, you might be screwed. Okay, you're gonna just... You see how difficult that was to react? So, anyway, just a discussion about overhead staggers and how you can use pokes for pressure because they're so scared. They have to fuzzy the overhead, which forces them to stand up, which like prevents them from being fast on their pokes. I guess this whole demonstration was me trying to show that. And did you guys know that standing one doesn't gel with jacks? Look at this. Okay, standing down 3 seems to work. But this is still not fixed. Look. Sometimes it does, you have to delay. Isn't that incredible? Unbelievable. Alright, like, comment, subscribe, peace, follow me on Twitter, bye.